Yo guys, so this video today I'm going to take you through how exactly I overcame all of the vices and all of the addictions that were holding me back and how I actually use them to propel me forward in business, because whatever problems or vices you identify with, they can actually be used to your advantage, but you have to first take the step to putting them down and understanding how that's going to benefit you throughout your life. So I'm going to take you through a board presentation that I've made, and I'm just going to show you each step exactly what I did to become the person that I am now. Because within 6 months of quitting all my vices, I became a business owner, I became very good at sales, and I started getting my life fully in check, and I used all the momentum to succeed. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. That's what today's video is going to be about. So love you boys. Let us know how you find everything. Hopefully lots of value for you here, so stay tuned. Also, if you're new to the channel, Hassan Amin Khan. I've been running a sales agency for the past year and a half, and I've been in sales for the past 2 years. I've overcome a lot of obstacles in my time doing this. I had to really transform my identity and become someone worth value. And I'm documenting my journey to success. Obviously, I've started seeing some success in my business. I've had back-to-back 10K months for the past 3 months, and now we're on a steady climb to success. But I want to share with you guys all of the mindset, habits, the skills, everything that I've gone through, from the detrimental person that I was, dependent on his vices, lazy, not living up to his potential, to who I am now and who I'm becoming. So hopefully there's a lot of things of value for you here. I know there will be. Yeah, just some insight into who I actually am. So you got a bit of context there. Yo guys, so you guys have seen the intro. Now I'm going to take you through a little bit about how everything looked, because it kind of shaped my whole life, or everything that I'm going to take you through. So obviously 11 to 14-year-old, just a normal kid, just got to school. Then when you go to school, you kind of go through different friendship groups, or you find who you actually are. Because when you're in primary school, you're a kid, you're just having fun, everything's happy, ha ha ha. And then it's such a big transformation just go into high school, because you're surrounding yourself with different people. So here's me, just as a normal kid, um, just doing what a kid does, at the ice rink there with my cousin, and then with one of my friends. That was when I was in year 7, just got to high school. So main hobbies back then: Xbox, play outside, family events, and you don't care too much about school. It's just like, right, yeah, I'm here, ha ha ha. We're in science class, it's funny. But then as you go throughout school and you start obviously hitting puberty, and you start getting in different friendship groups and that kind of stuff, that's where things change for a lot of people. And that's definitely where things changed for me. So if you look at this innocent kid here, and I'm sure you guys, if you're watching this video, you've probably gone through something similar. I'm just going to show you how the depths you have to go to then raise back up, because the depth of your struggle determines the height of your success. So, from 15 to 17 years old, look at this kid. What was going on through this kid's head? What was actually going on through his head? That was one of the first parties I ever went to, and I thought I was the man. I thought I was such a cool guy, because me and all my friends, we just discovered all this going out, and oh, this guy's parents let us drink at their house. It's just messed up, and you're indoctrinated in this from such a young age in the UK that it becomes so easy to just ruin your life. I know so many people whose lives are still consumed by this. And that's what this kid was going through. This kid just wanted to impress people. This kid just wanted to fit in. And this kid thought it was cool to go and ruin his life and get indulged in these parties. So look at me. I wasn't even on anything, but I saw other people that were taking drugs and stuff, and they had like really wide eyes. I was like, oh yeah, it looks really cool. Let me look like I'm not in the picture. Crazy. So obviously I had no religion at this point. Um, Puberty, just wanted to go out, start speaking to girls and stuff, going to parties, and I got really degenerate really quick. If you see here, this was maybe I was 15 or 16, and then this one, it's when I started taking some drugs at this point as well, and it was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. We used to go out to like parks and go and do all of this stuff, and it wasn't just like it was a weekly thing. We used to all get together, just kind of scrape whatever money we had together from our jobs like Tesco, Domino's, Co-op, all of these things, and then go out and buy these things and do nothing. So if you look at this kid, he looks so lost, he looks so disgruntled, and we'd also be conditioned. I'd see memes like this of Mr. Burns here, Mr. Gurns, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's so cool. I want to go Gurn," and it was just a proper detrimental period of life. So we actually got busted by our parents at this point, which I'm going to get to. But I look a lot healthier in this picture, if you can't see. And I don't think I took anything at this event or gathering because we got busted by our parents. So one of our group chats got leaked and it kind of exposed everything that we were doing. So my parents immediately, good parents, grounded me. And then I had no choice but to focus on my GCSEs and focus on becoming better. So I wasn't doing any drugs, I wasn't doing any partying, and I went from a D student all the way up to an A star student. I smashed my GCSEs, which are the secondary school exams, high school exams, and did really well in them. And if you can see this picture here, that was after that period. So looked very healthy as well. Very healthy as well. So through this, I did develop addictions. I was addicted to weed, pills, and all of that kind of stuff. When I was going through the degeneracy, as you can see here, and then got my act together, and I shoveled all of that energy that I was putting into the degeneracy into my exams and took myself from a D to an A star. So that was the power harnessed right there. I already knew back then what I was capable of if I put my mind to something, which is what I did. Then we go fast forward on. Obviously, just your circle is going to determine who you are, and I got back into the same circle. I got let back out of the house, and I spent all of my spare time. Even worse now, we were hitting the drugs even harder. I really neglected my family throughout this time. They had a lot of concerns for me, but I became like an alien to them. I was so obsessed on the next hit and just going out with my boys, and got so caught up into this disgusting culture. Look at this guy. This guy was finished. This guy, you look at him like, what is going on in his head? It looks like there was no way out, and I felt like there was no way out, but it wasn't from a place of desperation back then. I just thought that was life. I thought life was, oh yeah, go do school, whatever, and then, yeah, just be really cool and be a high functioning drug addict. What was wrong with me? What was actually wrong with me? I'll tell you what. I was very impulsive, which was a behavior that was brought on by the drugs. And when you go a level deeper, it was all because I was chasing validation. I was chasing validation from other people because I thought this was the cool thing to do. I thought, oh, sending these pictures, oh, ha ha ha, we look so high, ha ha ha. And then that was in school when I was graduating. Then it got worse because I went to university surrounded, and what kind of people do you think I surrounded myself with? The absolute depths of druggies. We had some great times in uni, genuinely, and we met some great people. But your environment is your reality, and the people that we were around, we had more money, we had more access to things, we had a bit more experience in life. So we used that to party till like 6 a.m. We were wasting our lives, wasting every second that we had, just chasing degeneracy, chasing happiness. And that's why I know that chasing happiness is so detrimental because it leads into degenerate behaviors. Look at this guy. This guy looks broken. He looks like a shell of a man. And I definitely was. So the ages of 18 to 22, I was chasing way too much validation. I got lost in the sauce big time. And then I started making illicit money as well at this point. And it was a very, very dark period. But then with every dark period comes a form of transformation. So I'll show you what I focused on to get me out of that period. No. And things changed. I decided I had to level up. And the main motivating factor for a lot of guys when they decide they do want to level up, and definitely for me, it was girls. I wanted to level up. I wanted to get better girls. There was girls that I thought I could get, but then they weren't giving me the time of day. I was like, why can't I get them? And it was because I was a degenerate. I wasn't leveling up in any realm. I was only detrimenting myself. So I knew this, but I still persisted with the bad habits. But I started taking some steps in the right direction. And when you're taking steps in the right direction, a lot of it initially, even at this point, is going to be based around material things. So I decided I wanted to increase my fashion sense. And I saw these shoes, these yellow Jordans. They were £340, which is like $500. And I was like, oh, I want them. I want them. So I was working warehouse jobs. I had a side business in uni. And I was like, all right, calm. I want these shoes. So I bought those shoes, and that was a massive milestone for me, and my level of self-respect increased. And then me and my boys, we all decided, right, we need to get in better shape as well, because this was the biggest determining factor for me sorting my stuff out, getting in shape. If you look at this guy here, he was still going out on doing all the drugs and all the partying, but I started going to the gym. So this was my starting physique. Um, Obviously, I still wanted to impress people, because when you've got some kind of status and clout in uni, it's going to be amplified if you're in better shape, you're better dressed, and all that stuff. So I use that as fuel, and I use my addictive personality to kind of fuel that forward. And that's what I did. So I put so much of my focus and energy into the gym and focusing on getting some money. Obviously, I wasn't a full-fledged businessman yet, but I was trialing things out, and I started making some money and leveling up my character. And I put the majority of what I'm going to talk about today is the gym, because the gym is what propelled me forward. If you look at this guy, he was a bit chubby, but I had some muscle base because I'd been hitting the gym for a few months. Then I'd never been super shredded before, like with abs and all that kind of stuff. So I think these two pictures are like 6 months apart. And I went on a serious cut. Me and my boy, we were keeping each other very accountable. And I think within 6 months, I was eating like tuna, chicken breasts, all that kind of stuff, and got into this shape. And then this is 6 months later than that. And I got into the best shape of my life. Look at this: mad shoulders, mad chest, crazy physique. I was 21 in this picture. And this was the catapult effect towards my success. Because the more I did this, the more I became conscious of all the bad decisions and all of the bad habits that I was keeping. And I just slowly started to phase them out, because I had more respect for myself. I realized all of the time that I was wasting, and it was generally detrimental. So I still had the bad habits, but I had the purpose of taking the gym seriously, getting money, and I started thinking about the future, because I realized I was finishing uni in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and I had nothing lined up for the future. So whenever, what does every ex druggie do, or every ex addict do when they start trying to get their life together? You get in shape and you start going to nature. So I climbed Mount Snowdon here with my dad. That was a great day, honestly, and my life became more about chasing things that were giving me real dopamine, because at this point I started to hate the drugs. Every time I started doing them, I'd go down a negative spiral or a loop, or I'd be there hating myself in the morning thinking, what are you doing, bro? What are you actually doing? And it was at a point where I didn't want to do them, but I'd keep doing them. And that's a scary point to be in. That's a very scary position to be in, because it shows that you're dependent. I'd go out with no intention to do it, and I'd wake up the next morning on 1 hour's sleep, feeling cracked out, knowing that I shouldn't have done this. And on this photo as well in Snowdon, it was 2 days before I'd actually done this, and slipped up and went on a bender. And there was a real low point for me that morning. So as I started getting my fitness in order, and that became like my staple, that became the main thing I was addicted to. I was addicted to seeing gains in the gym. I got super shredded. Then I bulked up, like you saw in this picture, and I got in sick shape. And I just wanted to see how far I could go with that. So that, coupled with the nature, was my initial catapult effect. Then I decided, right, I need to learn how to make money, because I don't want to work for anybody else. I can't work for anybody else. So that's what I did. I I had to go scattergun, because I needed some income fresh out of university. All my family thought I was going to go down the corporate route, because I had a degree in economics, and I just decided that wasn't for me. So against all odds, I applied for the lowest of the low sales jobs. Look at this matrix agent. It was at some tool equipment thing. I was business to business calling companies, seeing what they wanted. I was branded by the matrix. And at the same time, I thought, right, I'm in good shape. And I realized the importance of social media. So I got addicted to just trying everything out. I've got new pictures here, but before any of this, I started putting all of my energy because I was phasing out the drugs. I transferred that energy into Forex, into video editing, into looking into e-commerce, and I lost loads of money in Forex. But I started affiliate marketing for Andrew Tate and HS Tiki Taki. Made no money, but I learned how to edit videos. And then I decided, because I'm in decent shape, I'm going to make fitness and mindset videos. And I learned how to edit them there. So this was on my TikTok. I started making loads of videos there whilst I was in the Matrix, and that was a super grind period of my life. I made a bit of money in the Matrix, and then I bought my first nice car. Before this, I had a red Ford Fiesta, and then I bought a Audi A3 S line, which is beautiful. And that just propelled me to go forward. Remember what I said about the materialism? I thought I was the man. When I got this car, this was a life changing thing for me, and it still is. I'm very grateful. Alhamdulillah. But do you see the point? The point is, I had all of the addictions and I still have addictions, but I just channel them into positive things that are going to benefit me. I won't settle for the artificial dopamine now. Chase the real dopamine through my fitness and nature, and then making money real, making real money. And that's what propelled me forward. So I had so much momentum in this period. And then you can see me, I was just working all the time. I was putting that all over TikTok. And then I started door-to-door sales. I started my door-to-door sales agency. I worked 7 days a week doing that. And I became the top seller in the country. On another video, I can put the screenshots in of this. I didn't put them in this one. But from that, I used that momentum, whatever money I made there, to go to Dubai, and I spent all of my money on a supercar. Um, spent like I think like 8K that week, and it was crazy. It was genuinely crazy. But with that in mind, like I just completely shifted all of the impulsivity into positive behaviors because this then opened my mind up to what I could achieve. And since the time I was in this Ferrari, a couple months before that I messed up. But since then I've done no drugs. A year and a half later, I'm completely sober. All of my addictions and all of my dopamine comes from chasing the real things, my fitness, my business, money, skills, adaptation, my religion, everything. And it was through the help of God, through fitness, that I was able to get those basic bare bones kind of necessities nailed down. Okay. And now I've used this momentum because I was just a sales rep at this point when I got the Ferrari in Dubai to then build my sales agency, which I'll go into in another video in the future. But just wanted you guys to see that if you're going through a period where things don't look hopeful for you, when things are looking terrible, when you're trapped, just like this guy was, like going through that horrible journey where you're waking up and you don't know what's going on and you're losing relationships and you're you're just being a detriment to yourself and everyone around you, and you're burning all your money and you're displeasing God. There is a way out. There is a way out, but it starts with your mind. It starts with shaping your habits. It starts from restructuring your habits, from chasing fake artificial dopamine and happiness to chasing real dopamine and happiness through achievement. Because we're men. We care about status. We're always going to have this kind of burner of, oh yeah, I really want to just impress people. I want people to see me as the man. You could have that. Our ego is built off that, and it's obviously proven things to ourselves as well. But if you channel them into real things and develop your real life character rather than how you just feel in your head when you take the drugs, you can achieve massive things. And this has only been a year and a half or 2 years of self development. The self development I'm going to go through over the next couple of years, now that I have none of these massive vices, is going to be immeasurable. But I just want you guys to see you can change your life so much in 2 years from this guy, this absolute buffoon, to this guy, the guy that you're seeing now behind the camera. I have to go through so much of the struggle. It's not an overnight thing, but as you start rewiring your brain and your habits and your process, the momentum's going to pick up and you're going to achieve like you never achieved before. But one thing you can't do, you can't let the addictive personality go. You can't be like, all right, well, I'm just going to sit there and do nothing now. You have to, the addictive personality is within you and you have to use it to push forward. You have to use it to transgress any boundaries. You have to use it to shape who your character is going to be, making real improvements in the real world. I could keep going on about this for hours, boys. I'm going to keep it short today. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you got any feedback or anything down below, let me know. But I know that this is my first video I've done with Myro. They're going to get better going here on out. But just hopefully you guys have got the core message from this. Just use your vices and use your addictive personality to your advantage. And there's nothing you can't achieve. Okay, love you, boys.